Welcome back, Frigid here as always. Continuing on here with Limbus Company. How many? Yeah, that's still quite a bit more. I want to collect a bunch of that too. What? 150 draws, and I've only gotten one. Just one with the Collabby Goose. I kind of want to get this one. This one seems. This one doesn't seem to be too bad. This one. Well, it's not necessarily bad. Wait, hang on. What does that say? Only via the... Okay. Yeah, this one doesn't seem bad necessarily. It's just not as good as Fluid Sac, which is also a He class ego, so... Yeah. Is there anything left? Nope. No. I can still get 80 samples from that. I'll do that between streams. Things weren't looking any better. I could instinctively tell that they were different from anyone or anything we'd faced in Hongyuan so far. I don't suppose our Lord left them alive only for us to slay them. Then perhaps it would be apt that I introduce myself as it is common courtesy to do so. Call me Zigong. I am but a humble servant of Master Chu's teachings. Let's see. Okay. Now, my lord, Master Chu, somehow is reminded of the discussion Qing Tao refused to finish. When the far one comes betwixt the burnt doors, shall a star fall astray. As for the song, it's a song that's become rather popular in the back streets in the recent months. This is not the place to discuss such matters. I will share the tale in a more appropriate setting later, should we come across it. Name is Dante. I'm their manager. I decided to speak up, struggling through the pressure. I instinctively knew that we had to find out as much as I could about that man from earlier. They introduced themselves as manager Dante. I see. Your candidness is appreciated. Zilu, withdraw the Mao. It seems that we need not contend with them at the moment. Very well. It seemed that they had the very same thought about us. Now, is that sufficient proof of our intent to engage in a brief discourse? To discuss some matters with you to mark a courtly ending to this encounter should be of benefit to us for the prospects of our future. So, ask away, as they say. So, that's when Judge Chun stepped forward after having retreated from the domineering presence. So that's what those suspicious songs I heard in the back streets were about. It's about you guys, wasn't it? So are those lyrics true? Ah, so that is what you wish to know. Shi Chun of the Jaw family. It is said that you possess talent in rhetoric, yet walk a path beclouded by concern and anxiety. Truly, insignificance precludes your part in greatness. Wait, don't speak for me. I would have been the first to say anything if I thought she was wrong. Yes, my lady. Shi Yuhua, you're the one who sent him after us, right? Close, but not yet not exact. He was an agent of the Shi family, sent to spy on my lord's doings. We had bestowed him control of the Heisho pack, for we had found his conduct shallow and saw a means of learning more of the Shi family's machinations. Yet it seems that once granted power, the boy mistook himself for a man with the wherewithal to represent the Shi family. So you used him, just as he sought to use us. Though he was quite shallow in his strategy compared to our own. So what now? I don't think you're looking to kill us, right? No, nothing. Do whatever it was that you had sought to accomplish here. With letting two of your master's rivals go just like that? What a strange thing to say. Look around as I might, I fail to see any rivals here. Then why did you order Yuhua to attack us? You said it yourself. We're not even your rivals. The manager inquires why you commanded Yuhua to carry out this assault against Limbus Company. They fear, yet they seek to gain understanding through that fear. Yet they remain wanting in a certain perspicacity? Perspicacity? I'll admit, there haven't been very many games that have forced me to pull out a dictionary. And I don't think this is the first time either with this game. Let's see. Acuteness of perception, discernment, or understanding. So, a certain perceptiveness. My lord has always said that if one learns not from a plight, then no discourse with them shall bear fruit. Instead of giving me a straight answer, Zhigan left me with only a puzzling comment before she brushed past us. I have given you courtesy enough. This is a good time for us to depart. Now, do stay nicely within your borders, as you have remained there thus far. I would greatly despise an odd splash of ink marring the great painting. That Zhigang walked into the shadows cast beneath the forest of buildings. Zilu and the countless Heisho that had surrounded us also disappeared with them. Finally. Looked around just in time to see Otis collapse, where the rest of the sinners lay dead or barely clinging to life. And there was Jia Shichun, who had collapsed to the floor as well, and Wei, who was tending to her wounds. And me, who somehow survived through all that without getting decapitated. And the night that put us through multiple brushes with death came to an end. The day breaks. I'll better break out the duct tape and fix it then. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that's happened. That big brother Chu? I see. Once the day broke, we decided to take a quick walk outside to recover a little from the exhaustion of the night. It was also to decide our course of action from here on, and we also had to decide if we wanted to travel with Jia Shichun, with whom we shared our destination. Hello? Did you forget how to make a concerned face or something? How are you maintaining that irritating poker face through the whole conversation? Of course not. Classic Jia family secrecy, huh? Always hiding something. And I bet you are, too. If you are, you better spit it out now. I don't have the time to casually stroll about with my to-be enemy. Shichun, as I have always said, the seat of the family hierarchy is of no... Fine. Even if you're lying, I do know that you haven't prepared anything for your assignment anyway. Changing the subject. Jia Shichun, who was chatting with Hong Lu, methodically slowed down enough to walk right next to me as though she was executing steps of a plan. You lead my brother's faction, don't you? About what I wanted to talk to you about earlier. I guess I do. For now, I guess. Earlier? Oh, is this about a conversation back at the Kazan? Brother, translations, please. Of course. Dante is unquestionably our manager. Great, let me make a proposal then. Become my faction for the duration of the family hierarchy evaluations. Help me out. What? It's, can we do that? Can we do that? Why not? You guys managed to stall even the sweepers. That means you can make a formidable force. Besides, you're headed to the family mansion anyway, aren't you? You just don't know what to do once you get there. And as for competition, well, my brother doesn't care about the whole thing anyway. So why don't you join me? Help me become the family hierarch. I'm not like our other older siblings. I always pay my debts, whether that's for a favor or for a grudge. If you can't trust me, I'm happy to make a written... Can we do that, Faust? Faust deems Jashichu's plan, her explanation of it at least, rather flawless. Having such an ally at the apex of a wing will be a great boon to Limbus Company as well. I guess so. Then I don't see any reason to refuse her offer. Honglu, who's been listening in our conversation, boiled the discussion down to a clearer explanation related to Jashichun. Yeah, perfect! It is said that formation of such alliances should come with a grand banquet to mark the occasion and to cement the upcoming coalition. The banquet's on me. Once we get closer to the central zone, let's find a nice Kazan to discuss our future ventures together. You're Dante, right? Let's make this thing work. I still bewildered by the turn of events, but Jashichun reached out for a handshake with such earnestness that I found myself almost drawn to shake her hand in return. Now that I think about it, this is the first time we ever made ourselves an ally that wasn't specifically selected by the company, huh? Well, if that's the case, I really hope we can have at least one ally who doesn't meet a terrible end. We walked into the Kazan to find the Mephistopheles waiting for us in the middle of the road. Ah, man, I never thought about it, but now that it's just standing like this in the middle of the street, it really stands out, doesn't it? Is this your usual ride? Glad to see that you're all safe. Swade and Pilot walked out from inside the bus. Said you guys can take care of that business? I have some more pressing things to talk about. Listen, Will, do you have any idea how much trouble your subordinate's little connection? Yes, Miss Faust already gave me a report. Pilot? Oh boy, yes ma'am. By the way, he's awkwardly stepping forward. He probably already got a hell of a talking to from Swade. And Virgilius, no doubt. Real mighty sorry about that, y'all. I've only ever been a part of the eradication missions, never in this espionage business, so... Pilot? What did I say about mixing excuses into an apology? I forget what I said! Real mighty sorry for real! This Qingtao guy pushed me, so he talked me into going along with that plan of his. So I got too cocky, assuming that I knew better than my seniors. I'm sorry too, I forgot he's still a new guy in the business. Of course it'd be important to make him these mistakes. Looks like we'll both be writing letters to explain our failure together, huh? You're both getting disciplined for this? The disciplinary action is unlikely to be anything of significance. So what, 50 lashes with a wet noodle? The LCB team came out unscathed, all things considered. However, it is likely that they may have to work for half a year without pay. That seemed pretty significant to me. I'd consider Winifred all we're getting is docked pay. Next time, I do promise. Next time, I'm gonna get real good. Freaking bots! Didn't even bother to have any letters at the freaking name. Shh! Bot be gone. Next time I'm gonna get real good at this job. I'm gonna become someone who can actually provide good assistance to y'all. Of course, Pilot. You really should. In fact, you'll have no choice but to become a contributing member of the team when I'm done with you. Let's really get to it, huh? I feel sorry for Pilot. No one's tired of getting fired under my watch as long as I'm their manager. I'll make sure of that. And yet she keeps giving a rather intimidating look. Yeah. Well, intimidating, menacing, whichever. Oh, right. Almost forgot to tell you, Swade. It's really important business stuff. Going forward, we're gonna... Oh, yeah. I was going to bring that up sooner or later. We just got the orders from the LCA. Swade produced a small device for her pockets and began reading from it. Upon arrival at the central zone of H Corp, the LCB will participate in the family hierarchy evaluation with a candidate. Heck, we were going to anyway. Now this Buzz Team's faction is going to be my... The LCB will present the following center as their chosen candidate. Center number 6, Hong Lu. Bleh. What? You can't do that! What the hell? You, all of you, I'm gonna make you throw up everything you just ate, you assholes! Well, I'm pretty sure it ends up working out for her anyway. Now, this probably won't come as much of a surprise, but I have very little, if any, I have very little familiarity with the Dream of Red Chamber. But what things I do know about the story for this Kanto does kind of remind me about some of the, some of China's history, which that I do have a bit of familiarity with. Although not a whole lot in the way of specifics.
보는 눈은 있네요. 여기서 저만큼 유능한 인재.
걸맞는
주인놈 뜻에 따라 맡겨두시게. 나를 불렀나? 헌팅 커틀러리 준비 끝.
꽃이죠. 우수수 하늘 가득 흩날릴 때
Flowers wilt, petals fall, a drizzle of blossoms sky blotting.
빛깔이 있고 향기 멎은
Colors fade, fragrance dies, but who shall mourn their passing?
꽃 갈퀴 손에 들고
To the garden I go, and hand a flower rake,
떨어진 꽃잎 밟을까.
only to pace, lest crush the scattered blossoms I make.
그러니까 결국 이 풍진
Thus, in this troubled world I breathe,
눈을 감지 않는다.
to shut my eyes
그가 없겠지.
is my sole reprieve.
보가 얼마나 고단하고 여의치 않은 여정이었느냐.
Little about you. Little about you. You must have walked and toiled tirelessly on your journey home.
험난하진 않았어요.
I wouldn't say I suffered much, grandmother. My days were always filled with new and interesting things to see.
대체
What are they talking about over there?
식탁이 너무
They're sitting so far apart that I can hardly hear them. I mean, is this even a dining table? I can't see you sitting at the other end from here.
어딘가 불편하신 점이라도 있으신가요?
Is there anything bothering you, dear guests? If this humble servant can help with any... Oh, that was something bothering me, alright. Oh, the middle of a meal, can you please stop? Nope, not at all. Nothing's bothering us at all. Everything's good.
보가 친구분들을 소개시켜주겠니?
Lady Wang? Now about you, my boy. When will you introduce me to your new friends? Oh boy, I don't know how to act in front of another's parents. Or should I look? That's an appropriate size for a polite smile, but don't come off too smarmy. It's nothing to fuss over. Think of this as your own place. Enjoy your time here. Woohoo! Thank ya. But woo, this place is so huge that I can hardly relax. I'm worried I might get lost going out for a cup of water. Don't you worry. We have stray people shelters located all around the house for that. Our servants visit them once a month to collect anyone who's unfortunately gotten lost.
아, 물론 그때까지 살아계신다면 말이죠.
If they're still alive at all, that is. What the heck kind of estate does his family have? Huglu, that has been the funniest joke you've ever told. I wasn't joking, but I'm glad you enjoyed it anyway. I must ask, Honglu, for I spy no other sibling of yours here. This is quite odd, for I had thought this to be a welcoming party for your return. Hey, it's my welcoming party too! Besides, what makes you think we never want to see their stupid faces? Just to get mad? It's been like 10 whole years since we even shared a meal together. Oh, and don't even think about trying to chat me up. Did you already forget what I said earlier? There's nothing between us anymore. We're enemies. Did we initiate the conversation though? Oh, I'm simply so glad that my son Bao has returned as a man who can now more than carry his own weight. And unharmed too. So, dear Bao, I don't mean to rush, but when are you planning to depart again?
아직 정해진 건 없어요.
Nothing has been decided yet, Mother. I see. I'm simply concerned that were you stay here to be prolonged, perhaps you might fade before your duties are completed. Do you not also agree, Venerable Jamu? Indeed. Dear about you, our peerless treasure, tarry not over long in this mundane world. Leave when the time is right, and fulfill your worth.
그럴게요.
Okay, grandmother, mother. Throughout the entire familial discussion, Honglu's expression remained the same, that tranquil, perpetual smile. Despite his return after years of wandering, being met with the family's obvious push to make him leave as soon as possible. He stands unaffected, as though he were expecting this gaudy yet hollow welcome. With his attitude being so passive, I also had no choice but to watch as a bystander. The palanquin will be here soon. A palanquin? Wow, so cool. That sure sounds like a fancy ride. Isn't that just Super Greg? Oh, yes, wait. Are we getting a palanquin or whatever it's called to give us a ride all the way to the mansion? The usual comedy pair's desperate efforts to lighten the mood are particularly appreciated today, as tragically ineffective as they seem to be. Yes, the LCB ingestion she will be heading to Dagwon Grandview Garden, where one of the most prominent families of H Corp reside. If they've sent a whole palanquin to pick us up, does Hogwarts family already know that we'll be participating in the family hierarchy war? No, it is unlikely they are aware. After all, it can be assumed that the most likely reason that the company waited until the last minute to relay this order was to minimize the chance of information leakage. Therefore, it would be correct to presume that the palanquin is here merely as a gesture of welcome to Honglu and Josh Shichun's return. Which means that only the invited Honglu, Josh Shichun, and their factions can ride the palanquin to Dagwon. Dagwon, whatever. Is that the palanquin? Kinda looks like a hover car. Neat! Wait a second, it's actually being carried, isn't it? Unfortunately, this means that LCCB Virgilis and Karen won't be able to join you on this journey.
아쉽네요.
That's
같이
too
갔으면
bad.
좋았을 텐데요.
Yeah, I guess that is the palanquin. That's too bad. It would have been nice if we could all go there together. Just as petty as I expected from the Caesar family. It killed them to house a handful of more people in that humongous park of a house. It's not like they'd notice the difference. Oh my, how touching. Looks like Miss Jessie Chun thinks she'll miss us too. I get it. She tunes a tsundere, isn't she? Aww. She's even got the twin tail hairdo. Tsundere confirmed. What did they to see in my face after that shameless backstabbing? I mean, do any of you even comprehend what it means to participate in the family hierarchy war? Do you even understand why we call it a war when the official name for it is an evaluation? You're risking your lives by getting involved in this. Once you get in there, you'll be stalked at every turn by people looking to kill you. Including me. Remember how Wei saved your life back at that fake Kazan? Now imagine the same scenario, except this time it could be Wei who's there to kill you. I must say ahead of time that this is a truly regrettable turn of events. I did not wish to have to fight any of you, but Wei looked at us with an unfamiliar and cold, intense glare. Well, we feel very much the same way, so looks like we're on the same page there. This means that I'm also fair game. You could stab me in the back again, literally this time. No, never. I wouldn't even dream of doing something like... Jiashi Chun ignored Sinclair's anxious pleas and looked straight toward Hong Lu. This could be the last chance to change your mind, brother. I didn't invite you to join my faction with a light heart. Besides, it's the family hierarchy war. This isn't something you can just flippantly decide that you want to participate. I know the life you've lived, Shichun. I also grew up hearing those countless tales about the family hierarchy war, just as you did. So the weight we're feeling must be the same. Right, so this is where our tenuous alliance really ends. Well, not like I care. Tsundere! It did drag on a little too long for a temporary alliance forged out of convenience. We're just going back to how things used to be, that's all. That's fine by me. I think that's enough chit-chat with you then. Okay, if that's what you want. Oh, Shichun. What? Please, don't tell the family that'll be participating, will you? I was told to keep this a secret for now. Tell me one reason I should do you that favor. I should do you that favor now. For someone who supposedly doesn't care, Shichun appeared rather hurt as she took a moment to glare at Hong Lu, biting her lower lip. Then suddenly strode right up to him. Is this even your call, brother? Or are you just following their orders? Yes, Shichun gestured toward the rest of us with her chin. My participation in the family hardcore is already decided. If you're still curious to know why, then... Shichun, do you believe that my choices carry any significant meaning? Oh, I see what's up. This crap again. So you already know what participating in the war means. You just have no idea why I'd ever ask you something like that, huh? Fine. Looks like I don't even need to hear your reply. There's no point in trying with you anymore. At least I'll have fun watching how far you get with that shallow, meaningless attitude of yours. Hey, wait. Jiashi Chun appeared pretty dissatisfied after that exchange, so I was about to say something, but Pilot who had been fiddling with the radio behind Suede, began shouting urgently. Oh, Major Suede, Palanquin's been seen coming this way. I'd like to chill a bit today. Yesterday was too tough. Let's head on over so we can at least relax on the way that... Nope, we're taking this one. You never think twice about giving things up to others anyway, do you, brother? Huh? What the heck do you mean? Come on, let's do this for a screw. Like, rock, paper, scissors? Oh, sure. Wow, sure. Why not decide the next hire with a game of rock, paper, scissors, too? How's that? Jiashi Chun gave us a wry grin before leaving. Wei followed her wordlessly. Boy, now I thought we were finally making some friends out here. Look, over there, there's a group waiting for a palanquin. One of them must be the candidate for the one of them must be the candidate the client told us about. Everyone, there's a group of hostile-looking people coming our way. She is unlikely to be the one who's going after the other candidates. Executive Manager, best take care of them before the next palanquin arrives. Yeah, what can we do? What can we do, right? That's convenient. As is that.
위기당천.
토끼를 보내라. 저 해충들을 도려내라. 묘여, 길을 열어라.
Yeah, I wonder if the skill used for that combo generates some sin resources as well. Eat some food. I'll be back as this plays out. Ugh. Feed me, Seymour!
약한 쫓아는 아닐 텐데. 살벌해지마. 다음은 어디로? 목을 떨궈주마. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수 없겠구나.
지원해.
Remember, folks, if after watching a solar eclipse you find a weird looking plant, turn it into mulch. Huh.
날개를 펼치고 힘을 걸어. 진 목을 떨궈주마. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허공이다. 뱀으로 끓는 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없지. 저 해충들을 보여내라.
너한테 멀겠지만
사요.
놀랐어?
영원한 없으니 너는 못 따라나.
Okay, that's what I thought.
일기당천. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 물론껏.
더 이상 식별되는 적은 없습니다. 관리자님. 그래도 전날처럼 끝도 없이 몰려오지.
Phew, at least they're sad to them this time. The guys that attacked us from when we first got here were endless. Well, that's because we walked right into a trap then. Shallow, but still. Anyways, she shouldn't appear pretty hurt by that, didn't she?
그런데
Honestly, though, I get why she feels so betrayed.
우리가 들었던 황론의 가족을 생각해봐.
Remember all those stories about Honglu's family we heard? Imagine you're one of their kids, thinking that you finally found, like, a potential ally in your family, only for him to pretty much stab you in the back last minute. Yeah, right? It was really awkward for me, too. I wasn't exactly involved. Sage chimed in nonchalantly as though it wasn't her who pulled the plug on our alliance at the last second. Anyways, where's our escort? I can't imagine that H-Corp can't afford to send us guards with the palanquin. If this family loved each other enough to send escorts for their safety, I doubt they'd be holding a cutthroat ceremony like the family hierarchy evaluations. It's a world where might makes right, where the strong prey on the weak. People won't bat an eye even if one of the dozens of candidates is found dead in some ditch on the road. Oh, sorry, Honglu. I must have been running my mouth again without thinking about how that sounds. Someone usually stopped me before I got too far.
개념치 마세요. 다
Don't worry, you didn't say anything wrong.
저도 다른 집들은
It
이렇지
took me a while to realize that other
않아요.
families weren't like this, but
있는 그대로의 지금의
there's no reason to be upset by the way things are.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼고
Yeah,
핏물진 길을
I'm gonna check something.
세월이 지나
Doesn't seem very practical. Hmm. Yeah, you could build it up rather quick. Okay, but how much health does it have? Oh yeah. Okay, don't have that one. Huh, for some reason I thought I had a bunch of the W Corp identities. Hmm. Okay. Did the other R-Pack identities use charge? Gain 3 charge count, but what the heck does he use the charge count for? Wrath Resonance. Charge count next turn. 5+ charge gain. Okay. In one haste and one attack power. Alright. Okay. So yeah, the other day saw something about TV tropes about how poise and both poise and charge are the only two mechanics tied to a specific sin that, well, associated with a specific sin that involves applying a buff to oneself instead of applying debuffs to enemies. And kind of pointed out that, you know, the little bullet point or whatever. Oh, it's this one. Step on highest resistance allies with charge. Apply a load equal to charge on self. Max other 5 allies. Okay. Interesting. So anyways, the person that kind of made that note about it said that they both have to do with how one views oneself. I'm not quite so sure in the case of envy. Because one thing I've noticed that's kind of consistent is that a lot of times, with a lot of the charge-based identities, a skill that they have that consumes charge to boost its power is of the envy affinity, which actually matches up with what envy is like. A person kind of, you know, becoming more and more envious until about someone, which like how the charge builds up, and when an opportunity comes up for them to act on this envy, to really lash out and hurt that person because of that envy, they do so. What's that ominous metallic noise?
타종의 소리인가 보고. 하지만
The tolling of bells. Bells with a resonance unlike that of any other, normally marked by their clarity. Plus, people are typically not going to lash out until they've... I guess their envy has reached a certain threshold.
무언가 탁하고
This bell's muddled, as if it tolls for ill fortune on the horizon.
이 소리를
Wow,
들으니까
that bell sure is a resounding reminder that I'm home again.
이 종소리는
It's the bell that tolls every once in a while. You can hear its resonance from anywhere in Hongyuan.
제적일이네요.
It's restructuring day.
제적일이라는 건
Huh? But the restructuring day already... She trails off, unable to finish her sentence as a brutal scene unfolds behind us.
보여요?
Whoa, are you guys seeing this?
건물들이
The buildings are all starting to shift. It was as Ishmael said, the buildings all tethered to a complicated network of rails were either rising or sinking into the earth.
이 근방에 있는 모든 건물에 움직임이 관측된다.
Movement has been observed from every building in the vicinity. Everything is changing.
어젯밤에 작달막한
The
소란이
localized shifting of structures we had observed yesterday night were not as sweeping as this.
밤중에 보셨던 건
What you saw last night must have been a premonition of the restructuring day, nudging some buildings to their positions for a smoother overall redistribution of space.
제대로 된 시작은
Now this is the real deal.
그게
That whole mess is just a premonition?
지금의 홍원보다도
It's a remnant of an old age corp that was here long before the current Hongyuan. This structure has been here for a while, so we can't quite know the nature or the purpose of its singularity.
무엇을
But at this moment,
지금은 현
they shift based on current age corp's restructuring standards.
모든 것은 하루아침에 이루어지는 소리.
Wait, so it really is on rails? And crap like that? The world's assembly shifts overnight.
최선을 다해서 노력해.
Yet those who toiled and toiled have not to fear. Is it not joyous to have a place to rest your feet tonight? To those who weren't availed of fortune, this is simply the reality to bear. Only choice is to retreat in silence, to accept your fate as one might. Wait the coming month, ponder how one might save their skin. How many shall plummet today, and how many shall remain? Hold on not to all things too tight, for you may lose sight of when to let go, and feign ignorance when you must take flight.
제주립의 말로 영원한 추락인가.
Oh, looks like it's raining men. The consequences of reassembly for the evicted is an endless plummet.
보고만 있기에는
What a terrible, distressing sight to behold, unable to do aught to help.
그것도
Is this another one of H Corp's idiosyncrasies?
다른 증지에도
I don't know. Did other nests also have their own measures of one's wealth?
T사가
As T Corp makes use of time as currency.
맞아요.
Exactly, H Corp's measure of wealth and currency is based on how much space a person owns,
밤이라는 단어를
measured by a scale they call rooms.
소유한 건물의 면적이 곧 재산의 척도라는 말이구려.
It is the measure of one's space is the measure of one's wealth.
네.
Exactly. So once every month, the worth of each person's labor, the quantity of their income are measured to determine how much space they are assigned.
잘 살고 있다가 갑자기
So they can just kick me out of my home for no reason? What the? What kind of ridiculous rule is that?
이곳에서 한 번도 나고
Well, it might appear that way to outsiders like us, but
오래전부터 존재했던
calculations behind these redistributions are meticulously designed and have been here for a long time. So it seems to me that everyone just accepts them as a natural part of their lives.
그럼 홍루 씨도
Have you seen this happen in person too, Honglu? This restructuring day?
보았죠?
I have.
제 방에 있는 남
Sometimes I'd watch the cityscape from behind the railings of my room.
아주 멀긴
It
했지만
happened far, far away from me, but I could see it all very well. His expression remains tranquil and still as he calmly reminisces. It was like then when he was merely watching the featureless scenery pass him by.
제가 살았던 대관원은
The Guangyuan, my old home, was never too concerned about the restructuring days. We'd get more rooms some days, but we'd never ever shrink.
그래서 저는
So I've never been affected by these restructuring days. I only ever witnessed them as they happened beneath me, high up in my room. You're... Ah, fine. I thought there was anything you could have done, but... Just sat on your hands and watched all this shite. Heathcliff trailed off, but I could see that he was gritting his teeth.
가만대가 더 도착한
Another palanquin's coming!
당신들을 태울 가마가
And there's your ride. I think we've chatted long enough, so let's get you guys going.
이게
This is a palanquin?
네.
Yep, looks like they sent us a palanquin large enough to comfortably seat a big crowd of people together. Young Master Jiao Baoyu and his 12 honored guests, is that correct? It's 13. It's 13 to be exact. But I thought Suede wasn't invited. Whoa, hold your horses. I told that young Master Baoyu's faction was just 12 people. Upon hearing that, Suede began aggressively striding toward him, causing the palanquin bearer to shrink in fear. Whoa, slow down, lady.
둘
We are 12 people. What's wrong?
설마 당신
I mean,
눈에는
don't tell me this
이게
thing
멀쩡한
looks like a
생활이
normal
있는 걸로
contributing
보이시나요?
member of a clan to you. What? Spade suddenly grabbed my shoulders and presented me before the bearer like I was some product. I mean, that's a pretty unique head that this one's got there. Don't think I've seen anything like it around in here in Hongyuan. But isn't that just a prosthetic in the shape of a clock, I guess? But still.
생각을 좀 해보세요. 당신이라면
I mean, let me ask you something. Can you imagine why anyone in their right mind would stick a clock where their head's gotta go? Even if they were hurting for cash? No way, man. Never. There are way more versatile biomodifications available here in Hongyuan than whatever that hack job is. Nobody in the right mind would.
제 말이요.
Exactly, right?
대체 무슨
No idea what went down, but this fellow here sure seems to have fallen on hard times.
우리가
Too bad we live in a world where such misfortune can befall an honest soul like him. Boy, oh boy, looks like this one's got scammed. Nasty scam too. Whatever backstreets that they got that from must have been a real scoundrel who did it.
더군다나 시간
And look, even the clock isn't on time. This poor person is barely conscious. Look, all they could do is make these weird ticking noises because they don't even have a mouth. Those are some pretty darn hurtful things to say, but I decided not to take them at face value. It was pretty obvious what she was trying to do. Somebody tell Suede I'm getting dizzy. Good grief, you weren't kidding. Who could have done something so awful?
다행히도 우리 마음씨
It's a real blessing that young Master Baoyu's got such a kind-hearted soul. He simply could not walk past the timepiece emporium selling this human being like there's some tool or a toy. So he picked them up to get their head replaced with something proper. Hongyuan's got more than enough resources for something like that, right? Oh, well, you're not wrong there. It's really easy to swap out your whole body as long as you've got the cash to burn. What? A new head? For me?
그렇죠?
Right, see what I mean? So that's why I told you that young Master Baoyu only has 12 people in his faction, including yours truly. Well, I see your point, but we can't just
곤란하시다는 거.
let all of us board. Yes, our young master fully understands the moral conundrum you find yourself in, so we'd like to offer you this tiny token of appreciation. So he produced some bills from her pocket and smoothly slid them into the palanquin bearer's own. Oh man, lady, you really shouldn't do this. You really shouldn't. Oh, and another thing, I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, but if a word of this gets out, things might get pretty messy for both of us. And that doesn't have to happen, does it? Indubitably, ma'am. I'm doing this purely out of the goodness of my heart, after all. What's a free ride for the downtrodden, eh? Seriously, where the bloke's throwing this pill out of it? That's just the fatness of his wallet.
짜자. 거기서
Alright, stop gossiping over there and get on board. Why was she so insistent on boarding, though? Wait, are we leaving Pilot alone here? Pilot seemed to have noticed me staring in his direction. He stopped fidgeting with the radio and waved at us. Don't you worry about me, and have a safe trip over there. I've got some stuff to handle on the outside. This design is more akin to an extravagant limousine than a palanquin.
샴페인 마셔도 되는 거야?
Oh, look, a bottle of champagne. Can I chug this?
무슨 작전의 음주는
Of course not. Drinking while on a mission is... Okay. The quick clap swayed promptly put an end to the hubbub the unexpectedly flashy appearance of the palanquin caused. Her demeanor had shifted entirely into that of a calm and collected strategist, a far cry from the person who was chatting about a storm with the bearer just a moment ago. Time to get to work, everyone.
카니발 타임.
그리고 그 후엔
Then you'll... Wait.
밖이 소란스럽.
Something's going on outside. Not long after Spade paused over Otis's remark, a grating speaker wine rang out, followed by the worried voice of the bearer on the other end. We're under attack! I thought things are going a little too easy. It's no surprise that other candidates are trying to eliminate us just in case. Why am I not surprised?
이상이요. 행색이 이상하나 그럼에도 이상이요. 내가 봤어. 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이요. 자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고. 그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
무상은 없음. 지원해.
물론고 제쳐라.
I think I'm feeling drowsy. I shouldn't be feeling drowsy.
일기단식.
I mean, I'm not a nightmare eating Pokemon, among other things. Or dream eating.
이 거리면 충분해. 너한테 멀겠지만.
거저 이 정도 탕후야 보이나.
Seems I need a shot of caffeine, so I'll be right back.
일기단천.
최근엔 좋았어.
거저 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
퉁퉁 퉁퉁.
오늘 부끄럽지 않았습니다. 의의를 바로 세우는 데 일조하였으니 내일은 더 떳떳이 살아갈 수 있겠군요.
I did say I'd be right back. Oh no, not another disruption!
이런 임무는 뱀 중에서도 내가
Man, just
제일
imagine how strong those guys carrying the pump would have to be. Well, then again, I think there is a... One of the corporations has a singularity that has something to do with gravity, so maybe it makes use of that.
내가 봤어. 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬다. 후이 일기당천. 그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
이 거리면 충분해. 너한테 멀겠지만.
Oh! Doesn't make sense. Huh. I guess that would do it. Okay, but by all accounts, that does not have any better of a chance of winning. Ah, sanity. This is in the positive. He's in the red.
목을 콱 물어버리자.
이 앞에 숨지. 예상 못했다. 도끼를 부숴서 이 정도
Sir,
상황에
point something or other. I didn't quite make out the rest.
묘야. 길을 열어. 혈압도 걸어. 목을 떨궈주마. 넌 숨을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
Well, it's not gonna need the less resources anyway.
거저 이 정도 상황에 허덕이나. 일기당천. 물론고. 꺾고 제철. 목을 떨고 거저 이 정도 상황에 허덕이나.
무상은 없음. 불끈 지원해. 불가
목을 떨고
Well, that one's gone. And there goes that one. And there's the last one.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 빗물진 길을 걷지만 세월이 지나면 홍우는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍우가 무엇을 바꾸었는지를.
Getting that sinking feeling. Meh. Let's see. Yeah, it gets better, but it doesn't seem to be by a whole lot. Oh. Okay, that changes it a bit. Oh, that's why. Worth it. There's a reason for this. I've noticed that sinking identities tend to have an evasion defensive skill, and of the ones I've got here, there's 4 that have that. Which is going to come in real handy against some of the bosses of this chapter, because if they have unbreakable coins that dish out rupture, I could just use an evasion. I could just use evasion to dodge that, as well as use sinking to keep their sanity low, so that they, so that as many coins as possible will be evaded. Ah, dang.
대관원 입성이요.
This place is crazy big. Entering Daguanya now! Despite some troubles on the way, it seemed that we managed to arrive at our destination mostly unhurt. Daguanya, Honglu's old home. Ooh, we're running out of time. First, I'm sure you understood the important part of my plan, right? It is unlikely to be a pleasant sight to behold. Remember, the plan hinges on your patience, everyone. You have to remain calm and wait, even if they freak out and actively try to kill you. There's a chance that they might panic and immediately order for the sinners to be executed on the spot. However, it is unlikely that the person whose responsibility is to judge the next family arc of Hongwen will make such a hasty response. Exactly. Everything's going to be fine as long as the decider has the capacity for patience. Huh? Execution? What? Great. I'll follow up with the subsequent contact once you safely completed the first round of the evaluations. After that cryptic exchange with Faust, Swade leaped gleefully off the moving palanquin as Heathcliff murmured in his half sleep. We watched it grow smaller and smaller as the distance between us grew, but what really caught our eyes were the scattered humans that the restriction day had evicted from their homes. They were trying to drag their broken bodies off the road, sobbing and writhing. It's horrible. There isn't anything we could do to help, but such sense of futility and powerlessness will negatively impact the efficient performance of your professional obligations. Repeated exposure to similar stimuli is recommended to desensitize oneself to this sensation. So, Honglu, how do you feel about going back home after so long? Sinclair changed the subject. I don't know. Don't even need to ask him, lad. I know it can't be easy. That's me. Blimey, I asked it almost 1,000 times. What if I should just turn around and leave? I knocked on the gates, but she... Heathcliff came to a suffocating stop, his voice trembling lightly as he did so. The other sinners stared at him in confused silence. What? What is it? Why do you stop in the middle of a... well, look at these cool windows. I think we could swap them out with other images. Quickly tried to swerve from this subject again, but all I got was Ishmael's scolding glare that seemed to wordlessly tell me, not the time. I remember. What happened each time one of us returned into the part of the city that held our memories. Memories of happiness, anger, sorrow, and joy. As we traveled, I remember that they were all looking at sceneries only they could see. Roja, you awkwardly tried your best to crack jokes. Sinclair, you tried your best to hold back the welling tears again and again. He's saying you shut your eyes for a long, long time. Ishmael, you couldn't stop talking to yourself while glaring down at the lake's surface. And Heathcliff, I saw you scared and anxious, shaping your hair over and over again. You've really been watching us closely, huh? Did we? Spring leaves, petals scatter, all shall turn around to find the doors to which they belong and return forevermore. I think everyone has a small amount of petals they gathered for themselves. What? I don't collect something like that. Then you simply haven't discarded them yet. There's still a transparent smile on his face, but I think I saw a burying, sinking shadow behind it. Oh. The moment I felt that, a familiar light came into view, and I immediately understood what was going on. The golden bow is close. It is resonating with Honglu's fathoms. They watch the flower burial of mine and mock away. Who lays me to rest once I die? When spring passes, youth passes, as wrinkles shear it all away. Flowers pass, people pass, ignorant they remain to where they hie. Why do you always recite those strange, complicated poems, Dayu? There are plenty of ways to remain young, aren't there? Because we needn't see the snow in our hair to know that spring will pass. But why are you cleaning up those fallen petals? Just float them away downstream. You'll get dirt on your hands. Be so wasteful. How will we hear the sound of falling rain once we sweep all the petals away? This is a remembrance of a rainy day, so I'm gonna treasure it. Besides, these beautiful blossoms get so dirty in the stream if we let them float away. So please, don't scatter all the petals from your embrace, big bro Bao Yu. Honglu, is there anyone you miss here at Dongyuan? No, there isn't. But how's that possible? Isn't your family there? And a bunch of other people who are so important to you? Well, as long as I believe them to be doing well. There isn't any need for me to yearn to see them again. Do you still treasure your petals? No, I scattered them all the day I departed my home.
그래서 이젠 비 오는
So my rainy days are now silent. I see.
보신 거죠?
You saw that, didn't you, Dante?
제 기억을.
You saw my memory? I did. Hong Lu laughed. He wasn't surprised or angry that I peered into his memories.
홍루 씨의
Do you want to tell us about your parents? Or, yeah, you talked about your grandmother pretty often, right?
종종
What kind of people are they? Sinclair added carefully. Maybe he was trying to commiserate, tenuous as that connection might have been. We were headed to his home to meet his family anyway.
두분다 이치에 밝으셔야
They were both very wise in the ways of the world.
할머니는 항상
Grandmother always treated me preciously.
어머니도 아버지도
So did my mother and my father. Her.
아, 거의 다 도착했나
Oh,
봐요.
we're almost there.
정원이
I can see the garden. This is one massive garden.
본가 안으로 들어가려면
We still have some time before we get to the main buildings.
옛날엔 정원에서
I remember the days when deer and hares would frolic out here in the garden. Well, I can see myself taking a long walk around here. It'd take a whole day and then some to cover the entire ground.
주로 저는
I usually lingered only around my own room. It's dangerous to stray too far, after all. It's dangerous? Why?
잘못된 길을 걷다가
There's the stranger danger, getting lost, getting targeted. Besides, it's very dark at night.
그냥 마당에서 달리다가 무릎 깨질 수도 있고 나뭇가지 얼굴 좀 긁히고 그러는 거지.
Well, that ain't right. That ain't a very big deal, is it? Kids run around, scrape their face on the branches, trip and eat shite on the pavement all the time. Yeah, I'm sure you would have run freely around in the garden, Heathcliff. But it's important to always be careful.
제가 5살 때는
When I was 5, someone had lathered a deadly poison on a random tree branch. Poison?
히스클리프 씨처럼
I had a little brother who'd like to frolic like you do, Heathcliff.
우연인지 딱 그
By some
주위에
coincidence, he happened to be running around the same tree that had its branches lathered with poison.
어떻게 되었는가?
What hath transpired thereafter?
괜찮아졌을 거예요.
I'm sure he got better.
스빈이 백반만
Shirin told me that he'll be just fine after 100 nights rest.
스빈은 언제나
And because Shirin was always so smart, I'm sure it happened exactly as she said. Dude's got quite the messed up family. Of course, it's pretty clear he's practically royalty, and the thing about royalty is they tend to be royally messed up. Very picturesque background for this canto. I like it.
대화청 입성이요.
Entering the Huating now. By the way, yes, I'm well aware that my pronunciation is probably very off. Mandarin is a very tonal language. You can pronounce the syllables the same way, but depending on where you put the emphasis or the tone with which you say them, what it translates to English could be something completely different. For instance, my parents both served missions in the Republic of China, which is what's more commonly known as Taiwan. The Republic of China is the proper name for the island. Oh, not just island, but nation. I remember them saying how since there's no word in Mandarin for priesthood, missionaries would say would translate to, instead of holy priesthood, be holy authority. But every now and then there'd be a missionary that'd be talking about Heavenly Father's holy pencil. It wasn't long before our arrival to a new place within Dagguanian was made known by the palanquin bearer's sonorous announcement. More buildings! More buildings! What's the hot in the mean anyway? Grand Flower Hall, so they could call it a place for banquets. Ah, so you host banquets in this village-sized venue? Is that a lake over there? No, it's a pond. A pond? Damn.
도착하면 저랑 시춘이를 환영하는 자리가 마련되어 있을 거예요.
Once we arrive, we'll find ourselves a welcoming party for Shichun and me.
로저 씨.
Ah, Rody, you should be able to stuff yourself to your heart's content this time. It's been a while, hasn't it?
도착하기 전부터 이렇게 설렌 적은
I don't think I've been this excited in a long time.
저건
Whoa, is that a ship over there? You have a ship?
아,
Yep, we'd sometimes go out boating.
아 그리고
Oh, and Shichun's building is right across that pond. You each got a building of your own?
네.
Yes, we do. When I first departed from Hongyuan, I found the concept of an entire family living under the same roof so fascinating.
이래서는
Alas,
가족끼리
alas, it would be quite the challenge for thy family to see one another.
그러기 위해서 따로
And that's exactly why we each get a building. Are we even talking about the same thing here?
이럴 거면
Alike for both, we could have merely enjoyed our vacations at young Honglu's residence all along. That wouldn't have worked, Don Quixote. When I left home, grandmother and the elders really impressed upon me that
때가 되면
the footsteps shall eventually bring you home when the time is right. Thus, witness and only witness as much of the world as you may before you make your return.
언제 오려나
I was wondering when that would be, but time really slipped through our fingers, and just like that, brought me here. Most students did not welcome their turn. Some of them were even terrified of it. Sometimes they had to confront what they'd been avoiding all their lives. For some, important things that were once forgotten or lost were waiting for their return. But their reluctance is really not surprising at all. I don't think I'd welcome an opportunity to get my memories back with open arms if it was thrust upon me out of nowhere, especially if I was getting dragged there against my will. But despite the fact that it couldn't be more obvious that his turn had arrived, Honglu was as tranquil as he always was. He's always been able to remain aloof no matter what happens. Maybe it won't be different this time either. Sure about that? Are you really sure about that? But even so, can I judge that so hastily? Young Master Baoyu of the Zhao family has returned! Again, with the palanquin bearer's deep, full-throated pronouncement of our arrival, the door opened.
필요하실 텐데.
Here we are.
어서
You
들어오세요.
shall be so tired. Come in, come in. Even behind the sinners who were still reeling from the astronomical level of opulence at display, Honglu bounced slightly off the palanquin and moseyed into the building.
그거 참
Quite the light-footed steps he take,
차분한 걸음.
unhindered by excitement or trepidation. Right?
좋은 집에만 살아서
This one's got nothing to fear because he's used to this kind of poshness. That's all this is.
그래도 홍루군의 마음 한구석에는 가족들에 대한 그리움이
Well, Heathcliff, you gotta find that this poshness came with a heavy price. Verily, this may be a subtle expression of that teensy part of him that longs to see his family again. Once we all left the palanquin,
모든 것이 상당히
I find myself beset by overwhelming vastitudes and objects of great magnitude.
하인들도 대체
Just how many servants do they have?
술시가 되면
Grandmother will visit us once Shuao arrives.
연애는 그때
The banquet will start then, I think. Shuao? The Shuao refers to the time between 1900 and 2100. This is a unique time system used in certain regions of the East. In addition, it would be best to remember that Honglu's grandmother, Jiamu, is the hierarch of the Huangyuan. It would not be an incorrect assessment to see her as the ruler of the Huangyuan, and by extension the CEO of H Corp. Your relative is the head of a wing, I see. Yes, though she'll be handing that over to the next era pretty soon.
이제 와서 가주의 자리를 넘기려는
Why now? What does she seek to achieve by abdicating at this precise time? Otis says she probably saw an ulterior motive behind every move and inquired.
언제나 때가 올 거라고 하시.
She's been saying that her time would eventually come, that she's carried this responsibility for too long.
갑자기 나타나서
She'd be pretty shocked to hear that you'll be taking part in the family hierarchy war. I don't know about that.
어쩌면
Maybe she'll take it well.
되어 나갈 이유는
There's never
없지만
been a reason for me to bother participating, but there wasn't a reason for me to not either.
저쪽에 시추님과
There,
웨이님이
huh?
앉아 계세요.
Hey, there's Shichun way over there. Looks like they both arrived safely. Yeah, Shichun arrived before she shot us the briefest glance, before looking away with exaggerated disinterest.
방금 시추님이
Shichun just turned her back on us.
그 잠깐 사이에 되게
Well, it didn't take long for things to become super awkward.
우리도
Oh, we must capture this opportunity to seat ourselves adjacent to young Shichun. Well, I ain't forever banned from ever getting anywhere near her.
어째서 온 말인가?
Yet wherefore?
저희는 이제 가시춘 씨의
We're no
세력이
longer
아닙니다.
just Shichun's faction.
적으로 취급받는 것이
For hostilities to be expected.
분위기가 바뀌었다.
Things have changed.
이쪽과 저쪽.
Us versus them, in-group versus out-group.
전장은
Deception and treachery are natural parts of war.
오늘의 아군은 내일의
An ally of today may as well become an enemy tomorrow.
친구가 없다는 말을
Or an enemy today might become an ally tomorrow. That's a funny way to say I don't have any friends. What did you just... Ah, they're my parents.
갑자기 바로 간다고?
Hold on, we're just walking up to them?
모르는데.
Blimey, at least tell us some names.
아버지
Ah, father's name is Zheng of the Jaw family. And Dong Yuan, they call my mother Lady Wang.
출가 이후 처음으로 인사
I greet you for the first time since my departure.
가시보.
Bao Yu of the Jaw family has returned.
벌써 왔느냐?
You're early.
보가
Bao, dear Bao Yu, it has been too many years.
오랜만에 얼굴을 보니
To see you again after so long,
정말이지
it is good to see your face. Oh, I don't know what I should even say. Bao Yu. I don't know, he doesn't look anything like the whale to me. The father, Jia Zheng's eyes dart nervously between us and Hong Lu. Meanwhile, his mother gingerly brings him in for a careful embrace, as though she was in the presence of something so utterly, deeply moving. It was more than the pure joy of reunion. So they're Hong Lu's parents.
극진히 환영해 주시니 감사해요.
Thank you so much for your hospitality. You've certainly spared no expenses.
그런데
So, who are these people you've come here with?
대단한 숫자는 아니지만
Well, there aren't too many of them. They are my friends I made out on the world.
부하라고 소개하던
At least he's not introducing us as his lackeys like a certain someone I know.
야, 그거
Oh, that's... Hong Lu's mother slowly turns around to look at us. I mean, it's a weird thing to say, but somehow it almost felt like she was looking down at each of us, one by one.
반가워요.
I'm so glad to meet you all. Bao Yu's always been such a stubborn child. I'm sure he was quite the handful to accompany you on your journeys. I hope you can still embrace him, despite every...
홍로 씨가요?
Stubborn? Stubborn? Hong Lu? Whatever it was she said, they don't seem all too happy to hear that.
보가
Dear Bao Yu,
왜
why do
친구분들이
you allow your friends to
너를
call you by
그런
that
이름으로
name?
부르게 두는 거니?
What if your noble, blessed name bestowed upon you by the revered Shenben, our elders?
뭐야? 왜
What?
갑자기?
What's going on with her? Hong Lu reached out and gently yet indifferently held his mother's violently trembling hands.
당연하잖아요, 어머니.
Of course I would, mother.
그
Because the name is too noble indeed. Oh, yes, it's not a name that any rebel should so heedlessly speak.
아무렴.
Of course, of course.
이쪽도
Oh, do you all have an old name and a new name?
그거 있잖아.
Well, don't you remember? Back in P Corp, we called Hong Lu young Master Bao Yu.
지난번 흥원에서 결투할 때도
Also remember how he announced himself before that duel on the day we arrived at H Corp?
사정이 있어서
He introduced himself as Bao Yu of the Jia family. I thought it was a pseudonym back then, though, given the circumstances.
우리랑
Well, it ain't like it's college. Your real name's got cheapness nobility or whatever. It's just a name, so you can say it as many times as you want. And it won't depreciate in whatever value it has. Oh, but some people do actually believe that it does, I suppose.
그 이름을 여기저기
It was
쓰고 다니지 않-
wise of you to refrain from using that name.
그래 그래.
Right. To let your precious name be known among the plebeian populace is to encourage knives in the dark to strike. Even here, too.
모친의 말씀대로 홍로
Just
씨의
as your mother says, for your true name to be made known, any individual with a passing connection to H Corp would have not easily connected you to Hong Yuan.
대부분의 이름에는 그 근원이
It is said that,
담겨
that most names are repositories of their keeper's origins.
다른 동부에서는
In the eastern region of the
부모가
city,
자식에게
the
이름을
parents
지을 때
name their children to imbue them with meaning,
세상에 쓰일
carries their
것인지를
wish for
다
their children's
알지
place and use in the world.
내놈
이름의 뜻이
You,
뭐지?
what's your name mean?
제 이름은
My name is a culmination of wishes, not only those of my parents, but those of many more.
태어날 때부터
Means that I was born with a precious jade.
바보.
Jiao Bao Yu.
끔찍하군.
Awful. Hong Lu's better. At least try to whisper. I'll call the rich boy however I want to if I'm ever forced to call him young Master Baoyu or some servile shite like that. I'd have to take a punch or two for the guide. I could feel the horrified gaze of the servants staring at us. I don't mind, so please continue to call me Hong Lu if you want.
귀빈들께선 자리에 앉아주시고
Please seat yourselves, honored guests. The food will be served soon. Oi! What's all this?
진짜
Do they actually expect us to eat all this? I don't think I've ever been intimidated by food before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't. There was, quite literally, amount of dishes on the table. I was trying to wonder if the purpose of these dishes was more to flaunt their wealth than to feed us a reasonable amount of food.
이거 말이야. 리필 되는 거지?
What a feast! I can ask for refills, right? Traditionally in that culture, the way one asks for refills is by cleaning their plates. Because doing so meant that one is still hungry. I remember my dad mentioned that did cause some culture clash with some of the missionaries where they were, they were from, maybe the Midwest or Western United States, so, you kind of grew up on a farm and they were told that it was rude to not clean your plate. And unfortunately, this meant that, they'd clean their plate and the family, hosting them would bring them more food. Yes. Anyway, what's up with those empty seats over there? Are we still killing time for some guests to arrive?
그건 아닐 것
I
같아요.
don't think so. They're probably seats for my older siblings somewhere in Daguanyuan. They probably just didn't want to attend. This is a banquet to welcome me, after all. I'm sure they believe it's a waste of time to attend. And they might be on some real busy schedule, Mass Dennis.
가목께서 당도하셨나이다.
Jabu, venerated by her presence, graces us.
당도하셨나이다.
Jamu, venerated by her presence, graces us. With the announcement, utter silence quickly devoured the busy hubbub of the banquet. Those who were sitting quickly rose to their feet and bowed, while those who were standing knelt down on all fours, their backs bent so low that their foreheads were nearly touching the floor. Oh, looks like she's flanked by some of the Yo branch. And the woman walking out from between them, the crowd itself parting down the middle from her sheer presence.
아, 할머니가
Oh,
오셨네요.
there's grandmother. It was Hong Lu's grandmother, the family hierarch of H Corp, and its chief executive director. Jiamu's presence was at once warm, gentle, yet immense and overwhelming, like a personification of an insurmountable mountain.
가모님을 뵙습니다.
We are graced by your presence, venerable Jiamu.
가모님을 뵙습니다.
We are graced by your presence, venerable Jiamu.
뭐야?
What? Should we bow too?
이미 접시에
I don't think you'd bow any lower with your face halfway in the bowl, so you should be fine. Probably. She's surrounded by Heisho too, I think. Guys, everything's gonna be fine as long as we don't do anything stupid. As everyone was bowing before Jiamu and awed and humbled, only Hong Lu looked straight at Jiamu without bowing. Then he got up from his seat and walked toward her.
할머니, 오랜만에
It has been a while, good mother.
부엌도련님, 가까이 올라오시죠.
Please ascend, young Master Bao Yu. Seemed that a special permission was needed to even stand next to her, as Hong Lu was allowed to approach her only after the servant gave him the go-ahead.
보가
Little Bao Yu,
얼마나 고단하고
you must have walked
여의치는
tirelessly on your journey home.
그렇지 않아요, 할머니.
Not at all, grandmother. I was able to learn so many new things, thanks to everyone who treated me so nicely.
배움을 통달하고
that you sought to master the art of learning, and no master regardless of pursuit would have been out of our reach. You could have learned much in the halls of erudition from them. That the world taught from sheets of paper are simply that, words on paper. We wish that you, dear Baoyu, would learn more of the secular world. To not let flow between your fingers the time that is given to you. I know this opportunity is more than what I deserved, grandmother. I appreciate your return all the same, that you have deigned to return before me by abdication of the great responsibility.
아무래도 홍루군의 림버스
Verily, it appears that young Honglu shined on to Limbus company as a grand chorizo of shorts.
그란 트레이스모? 그게 뭔데?
Grand chorizo? What's that? Not sure what racing cars would have to do with being signed on to Limbus company.
너희 둘 다 주둥이에 집어넣은 것 좀 삼키고 말할 수는 없나?
Can the two of you stop battling with your mouths full?
유명한 집안의 도련님들은 본격적인 대외 활동에 나서기 전에 집안에서 여행을 보내기도 한다네.
I still don't get what that has to do with racing cars. Young masters of families most eminent, oft sent out to the world on a grand tour. Thus coined was this practice Grand Turismo, if thou wilt, before they are to commence their public activities. The purpose is to learn the varied experiences that cannot be gained from books, to grow familiar with the world outside. But what does that have to do with racing cars?
저기 있는 시투니와는 이미 한 번 인사를 나누었다지.
I hear that you have met with Shichun in the world not long ago. I have. A bright child she is, well prepared to take on the challenges of the family hierarchy evaluations, I presume.
맞아요.
I agree. I'm sure Shichun will wisely overcome the trials. Indeed. Have you paid visit to the revered elders then? I will soon. Lady Wang is sent here as well.
송구합니다, 가문.
With your mercy, Jammu, of course. Honglu's mother hurried up to where Jammu stood.
하나뿐인 아들이 출가하여
It must cause your heart great distress to have your one and only son depart his home to wander the world beyond the hedges.
아닙니다,
Of course not, Jammu.
저는
Oh, I am simply so glad that my son Baoyu
이렇게 제
has returned as a man who can now more than carry his own weight, and unharmed too.
그러니
Thus, dear Baoyu,
재촉할 생각은
I don't
없지만
mean to rush, but are you planning to depart again?
아직 정해진 건 없어요.
Nothing has been decided yet, mother. I see. I'm simply concerned that we stay here to be prolonged. Perhaps you might fade before your duties are completed.
어서 소임을 다하고
Complete your duties and return soon, so that the agreement Jammu has so graciously made for us is fulfilled.
그래.
By the little aside note, historically in China, at the very least, the only person in the imperial palace that actually wore yellow robes was the emperor. It's probably supposed to look like gold. Not exactly, not exactly a yellow, probably more of a cream, but it is kind of like a yellowish. It is kind of like white with like a yellowish hue to it. So it's probably intentional there.
잃지도 말고
Lose not, forget
잊지도
not.
말. 너는 우리
You are our
가문의
family's one and only jade.
우리의 둘도 없는
Dear Baoyu,
신비한
our peerless treasure, tarry not over long in this mundane world. Leave when the time is right and fulfill your worth.
그럴게요.
Okay, good mother. What the heck is that? thought the citizens were doomed to chew uncomfortably through this incredibly awkward meal. But Jia Mu and her retinue of Heisho left the banquet hall quite promptly after the exchange. It was as though they had no more reason to remain here. It is odd that they should inquire Honglu of his departure plans on the very welcoming of his return. Right? When it appears like they really care about him, then... The appearance of that care for one's own child was also quite distinct and unusual compared to the typical display of emotional intimacy expressed in average households. Hey, about you! That's when an unfamiliar chipper voice hopped jovially into our conversation. Why did you come see me first? I've been staying in the same building ever since you departed here, you know. Ah, she's adorable. Aha, big sis, Shuo Bao Chai. It's been so long. You've come all the way to my welcome banquet to fill a seat. I appreciate that. I didn't know that you'd be coming home today, Bao Yu. I would have summoned everyone I could from my family to see you too. Big Bro Pans. I've really been itching to know how you've been doing. Yeah, sure he was. Shichun, who'd been sitting in complete silence for the entire banquet, muttered quietly to herself. Who else have you greeted since you arrived today, Bao Yu? My parents and Jia Mu. Really? So you're first then? She made a cheerful remark before leaning close up to his eye. Your jade is always so pristine, Bao Yu. Look, I made myself a necklace the same color as her eye and wore it every single day to constantly remind myself of you. Well, do you see it? Oh, you have. Thank you for remembering me. So, are you going to introduce her to us, or...? Hey, why couldn't we just let the nice reunion play out, man? Oja stepped forward, unable to stand the curiosity. Oh, she's... Hi, I'm Bao Chai. Bao Chai is the Shui family. I have a very profound relationship with dear Bao Yu here. Very profound relationship? He is my betrothed, and I to him. I'd say that's pretty profound, That's how it often happened in noble households back in the day. There might still be households that do that these days. There's nothing to be surprised about. These profound relationships can be established effortlessly in the simple exchange of agreements between our elders. Hey, you could at least given us a hint. But I won't be married until I leave Limbus Company, though. I just thought that it wasn't relevant enough to share. So, I'm sorry about overhearing earlier, but you guys are Bao Yu's friends, right? I've been so curious to hear what kind of life Bao Yu lived out there. Care to share some tales of your journey with me? Well, for starters, Honglu has died several times. Oh, I suppose that was too soon. Yeah, don't have stories for kids, shoot. Why? But I love stories about bloodshed. That's a bit troubling to hear. Ah, one of Big Sister Bao Chai's pastimes was curating creepy stories of urban legends. So she's a nightmare fetishist? Then maybe I'll share some. Considering what I know about Hellgate, that could be disturbing. Or not Hellgate, Hellscreen, my bad. Well, what about everyone else? I love adventure stories. Be careful what you wish for. Ah, I beseech thee to find a seat, for I shall now regale thee with a tale in which an adventure of most wondrous valor unfolds. Brace thyself, for this particularly old and terrifying tale features a big scary bear looking in a cavern. you're finished with your meals, why don't we all go back to our residences? You're so angry again, Ishichun. Last I heard, you lost much of your followers in a large battle, didn't you? I'm so sorry. I used more than 3 handkerchiefs wiping my tears away upon hearing that news. So the Shui's family's heard it too, huh? You're not wrong, but that's irrelevant to what I've brought to the family hierarchy war. I was a big fan of your confidence, Shichun. It's a good look, you know. Oh, that reminds me. You better watch your back, big sis Bao-Chai. Looks like brother Bao Yu's learned how to sink a knife into your back with that same carefree smile. What do you mean by you knifing people in the back? Just had a small falling out with Shichun, that's all. Hi, Shichun must have been trying to get you on her side, huh? Yeah, no wonder she wanted you on her team. Bao's always excelled at whatever he does without stressing out or losing that happy smile. It just kind of worked out that way. I guess it can be a bit irritating like that, huh? Such kind of people, though rare, indeed do exist. Oh, that reminds me. Did you, by any chance, run into Big Brother Chu? I haven't, but they have. That's good. She placed her hand over her chest as though she just survived an incredibly dangerous accident, poor eyeing us anxiously. So, what happened? I do know that he was trying to ally with Shi Yuhua, but I mean, it didn't seem like anyone else was viewing that as an alliance other than Shi Yuhua himself, but must have been a pretty open secret among the candidates that Jia Chu was trying to ally with Shi Yuhua. They cut Big Brother's head off when he was with us. Oh my, horizontally, vertically. H. So this is his 3rd time, huh? He was really incorrigible. He never knows when to zip it and sit down. Well, Big Brother Chu, I had a feeling he'd be here with the when the family hierarchy war begins. Everyone at Daguanyuan heard that creepy song from the backstreets, you know. Gosh, things get so awkward and hostile here in Daguanyuan every time there's any mention of him. Well, I guess it's fortunate that he won't be coming after me once the competition begins. And why is that? Because I'm simply too charming and adorable to kill outright, of course. Besides, whatever Big Brother Chu's goals are, they probably have nothing to do with the Shui family. I can see that. Bao-Chai took a step toward Honglun, leaning close to his face. Do you smell my fragrance still about you? You have never reeked, big sister Bao-Chai. You have always been and always will be residing at Ginger Plant Court. Promise to pay me a visit before you leave. With that, she gracefully walked out of the room. Well, how about we also start heading back? This place can get pretty dark around a high hour. You! Why'd you leave? She's just a childhood friend. I call her Big Sis since she's older than me. It's just something we do here when one's friend's a bit older. She's also one of the very few in Daguanyuan who is nice to me. So, where should we head to next? Good question. Just going by the scale of everything in here, it should be safe to expect something real vitzy, right? You're my guest, so you should be able to stay at my building. Within Daguanyuan. It's within walking distance from here. We should be there in no time, even on foot. Exactly how far is walking distance to him? And heck, I could walk from, my place of residence to where I work by foot, but it'd take a little while. Ugh.
헌팅 커틀러리 준비 끝. 자, 여기랍니다.
Ta-da! Here we are. That was a pretty long walk, still technically within walking distance, but this place is called Yihonguan. joyous red court.
공원에서 제일
This room was made from the most aromatic flower tree within H Corp. Try taking a deep breath, and
이렇게
you can smell the lovely fragrance of flower aroma, spreading from the very tip of your nose. It's unique to this building.
아이 그렇구려.
Very much so. It is an unseen, invisible thing. It retains much of its pleasant redolence. This place is huge too. You've been living here all along?
네.
Alone all
더
along?
넓은 방에서
Yes, I was told to stay in a larger room before this place more.
도련님, 오랜만에 인사드립니다.
It has been long, young master. Shiren reporting. Oh, hey, is she? Have you been well, Shiren?
네, 평소와
Yes, I am as I always have been. Shiren watched us emotionlessly as our rowdy crowd poured into the yard. Her expression did not change even when she saw Hong Lu, who presumably hadn't been home in quite some time.
이분들은 도련님의
Are the young
손님이시죠.
master's guests? I'll guide them to their room.
안내해드리겠습니다.
Please follow me.
따라오시죠.
저는 따로 방문할 때가
Now that we're
있어서
here, I've got to pay a visit somewhere. I'll be back soon, though.
어디를 가시는 겐가?
So we rode that journey. Alas, to accompany thee.
괜찮아요.
It's okay.
어르신들께 문안 인사를
Just on my way to say hello and pay my respects to the elders. So it'll be better if I go there. Alone.
이쪽으로.
This way.
뭐 어느 작전이나
Well, I guess I
그렇지만
could say this about every operation, but
이렇게 현장까지
the
직접
weight of our
와서야
mission doesn't
겨우
really
실감이
sink in until we're actually there.
가주 대전
You're talking about the family hierarch war, right? Yeah.
다른 후보들은 이것 하나만을 위해 몇 년을 준비해 왔다고 할까요?
What the heck is supposed to be today?
하룻밤만에 해내야만 하는
I'm
거.
not as tired as I was on Tuesday and Wednesday, but still. Yeah, the other camps have been preparing this for this for years. Well, we have what, an overnight?
나는 벼락치기 타입이어서 그런가.
I don't know. I'm procrastinating until the last minute kind of gal, so I'm pretty sure we got a handle on this.
부조리한 상황에서 임무를
This is not the first instance in which we are demanded to work through a task in an unfavorable, inevitable situation.
상관없지 않겠나.
Why does it matter? Our
어차피
goal
가주의 자리가 아니지
isn't to
않나.
claim the throne of the family hierarch anyway. A few hours ago.
정말 다행이지 않겠어요?
Well, isn't it such a relief that our goal is to come first place in the family hierarch war?
1등을 할 필요가 없.
Does that mean to say that we need to be the first?
당연하죠.
Yeah, obviously. Why would we want a student to become the head of H Corp?
외부인을 앉히는 것보다는
Would it not provide a much more reliable means of the control to plant an individual of this company at the highest level, highest seat of a wing, instead of letting an unaffiliated individual assume it?
일이 그렇게 간단하게
There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, guys. Besides, LCB still has much left to do as the LCB.
아직도 많아.
What would probably be even better still is have an work with an ally of sorts in the family hierarchy evaluation, so that they come in first, and Limbus Company has a good ally at the head of H Corp.
그러면 뭐
Then, what I mean, I'd assume that this isn't a winner-take-all kind of situation here. The other candidates get something for participating too.
가주 심사에서 10등 안에
Anyone who
드는
places within the top 10 will gain the right to take one item of their choice from the family treasury.
포상을
Of course, the one who places the highest goes first.
하지만 2등 안에는 들어야
We're going to have to come in at least second place in order to ensure that we obtain the item we're looking for.
아, 괜히
Oh, that's really insulting. Sod it. Why don't we just shoot for the top anyway?
못 보던 사이에
Your confidence seems to have gone through the roof since our last operation together. Well, we did go through a lot of crazy stuff.
그리고 그 홍보가
Anyways, I
어마어마한
guess what's deep inside Hongyuan's gargantuan treasury?
황금가지요.
The golden bow.
네.
Right on. Buried in the middle of all kinds of other treasures, along with any knowledge of its true value.
그래서 파우스트.
So, Faust,
아까
what did Major
소드가
Swade
좀
share with you as
사전에서
the
끝내는
strategy for the
건
first
뭐지?
round?
그러고 보니
I very
파우스트
much wish to know that as well. The suggestion of mutual understanding seemed to exist solely betwixt Miss Faust and Swade.
가주 심사일 차전의 내용은
First round of the family hierarchy evaluation tests what the descendants have prepared and brought for the elders of
시험하는
Hongyuan.
자리입니다.
What the descendants have prepared, huh? So this must be what Jiashi Chun's been referring to this whole time.
네.
Yes,
블루베스에 관한
to be
것이죠.
free from aging and death, immortality.
즉, 각자가
Each
생각하는
candidate is to present an
진정한
answer before the
블루베스가
judge to
무엇인가에
demonstrate the idea of
답을
true
보이는
immortality.
자리입니다.
Immortality, at least on, at least here on Earth, might sound nice, but That's a hard pass for me. If you don't understand why, stop and think about what it would actually entail. Right, so what's the answer to true immortality then? Not even a Faust can answer that. Then what are we even doing here? Well, we may be able to demonstrate a facsimile of immortality, or at least pretend as though we are close to the answer. Given that they are the ones who are seeking that very answer, they will not disqualify us, Honglu to be exact, from the competition. I see, they will cling on to whatever clue they can get their hands on, so we'll be using that in the desperation. Precisely. That important looking old bad Jabu favors him, doesn't she? Don't she? Maybe she'll give him bonus points or something. So that's what we'll be using Honglu for. That is... Yes, you're right. It's my turn to be used. Whoa! When'd you get back? Honglu nonchalantly chimed into the conversation, having slipped in between us unnoticed. Maybe we should put a bell around his neck or something. Hey, you're back pretty soon, huh? Fortunately, what Otis just said could sound quite crass depending on how you cut it. Honglu, you don't mind what she just said. But why would I mind it? My use is to be a ticket to participate in the Hierarch War, the only option for obtaining the Golden Bow, and the Golden Bow in H-Corp. She didn't say anything wrong. Your use. Well, if you'll be using me, hopefully this will lead to an outcome we can all be happy with. Verily, such outcome would be best, yet young Shi-Chun hath already exhaled with great gusto out of her nostrils before turning away from our party when our eyes met. Well, Shi-Chun... Honglu's eyes twinkled briefly as though he was shifting into a dream. I didn't think it was possible for me to be friends with Shi-Chun again. We're back to not being on speaking terms again, but it was as though I'd gone back in time, back to when we were both children. But we can't go back to the past. Oh, you can if you're Samurai Jack. What did you say? Are you drunk or on something? Did you really just say that to me? Oh, what a stupid thing of me to ask. You've never been drunk in your life. Your mind's always been so damn clear. None of this matters to you, does it? When I get angry at you, when I shout at you like this, none of it gets to you, does it? Just what happened to you that day? How can someone become so... Shi-Chun, forget it. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. It's my fault for expecting to have at least one normal sibling in this messed up family. That memory, Honglu was wearing a quiet smile even before her hushed anger. But don't you want to be friends with her again? At the end of all things, these connections between people, they're just moments. Ephemeral things. So what I want doesn't matter. Honglu, a sinner so aloof, so detached that it feels as though he's always floating through the crowd. Floating through the clouds. My Elmer Fudd syndrome's acting up again. I had it when I was a kid. Took speech lessons. It still comes up every once in a while. Dang it! Once thought that was just the kind of guy he was. Someone who just happened to be above everything that's happening around us. Instead of just another messed up person with messed up problems of their own. But slowly and gradually, I had begun to realize that there was something off about him under the surface. Honglu, about participating in the family hierarch war. Do you really not feel anything about it? You completely excluded yourself from it? I don't, and I have. That's just the way things worked out, right? Executive Manager, it is true that his value judgment will have no tangible influence on this company's direction.
파우스트도 동의합니다.
Faust is in agreement. Students do not have the right to refuse their missions.
그건 사실일
That
테요.
may be true, yet
그에 따르는 마음의
I find it
상태가
unnecessary to turn away and neglect the suffering conditions of their hearts, stemming from the obligation to their missions.
마음의 상태라.
Conditions of our hearts, but perhaps unnecessarily peering into them is how we beget suffering?
그것이 무슨
What manner of... Back then, we lived here in De Guanyon.
제게는
So many choices passed before my eyes. Should I kill that child who is from a different family? Should I even survive? Should I walk past that dying boy, or should I stop to help him? When they were first presented to me, I tried to make a choice. But it didn't take that long for me to realize that my choices meant nothing. So I decided not to choose at all.
그게 지금의 저예요.
And that's me, as I am now.
림버스 컴퍼니에 입사하게 된 후에 좋았던
There were so many wonderful things about joining Limbus Company, but
제가 무언가 선택하지
I
않아도
think my
된다는
favorite
점이
part of the experience was that I was never given a choice.
조금
That's
이상한 것 같은데.
definitely kind of weird.
어라? 분위기가 조용해졌네요.
Oh, looks like things have gotten weirdly quiet around here.
사담은 여기까지 하도록 하죠. 해야
That
할
was enough
이야기가
discussion,
많습니다.
enough private matters. There's much ground for us to cover.
그럼 1차
Let
대전의
us begin
기획에
by
대해
discussing our
말씀드리죠.
plan for the first round. There's still some time until we have to leave.
밤에는 잘 보이지 않았지만
What may be the purpose of these scarecrows, veiled in nocturnal shadows they were at yesternight?
아, 아직도
Oh wow, they're
있었네요.
still here.
이곳에 자제들이
These are
거쳐하는
training
건가?
courts next to. There are training courts next to every building where children of this place live.
걷고 뛸 나이가
Here,
될지는
every child of walking, running age will get to play with these dummies.
놀이라.
Hey, early education is important.
수업이랑
Yet how doth one play with these dummies? It appeared that this dummy is adorned with a most dashing piece of fashion for its head.
아, 그건
Aha,
제가
that's the first dummy I received when I was 7.
그때는
Yeah,
말이죠.
back then, I thought even dummies could feel pain when struck. Such was the blissful illumination of all those who were once children.
그럼 여기에 태어나는
So is it like tradition for kids born here to formally learn how to fight?
아, 그건 아니에요.
Oh, not exactly.
이번에 할머니가 형한테 선물로
Oh, so this is what grandmother gifted you, big bro?
맞아.
Yep, I don't know how it works though.
옷 같은 걸 입혀주거나
Must be a doll or an effigy or for dress up. Or perhaps you could adorn it with some trinkets?
보형 집을 지켜주는
Maybe it's got like a guardian spirit that protects your house, big bro Bao.
벌시고
Oh boy.
이건 말이지.
Here, let me show you how it's done.
형이 할머니가 준 선물을 때렸어.
Why'd you punch Grandma's gift?
그렇게
Don't you
하면
think you're hurting it?
아파해?
Hurt it? Really now, this wooden thing?
이렇게 자라나야 살아남을 수 있다는 게
It's well that they have to grow up this way if they want to survive.
생각보다 제대로 된 수.
This WTD isn't so bad.
생각보다 정교하게 설계된 물건 같은데.
This wooden training dummy appears to have been designed and crafted with some precise engineering craftsmanship. We still have some time until departure, so why don't we try using them for warm-up exercise? I don't want to get all sweaty though.
뭐
Well, it's not like these things will pose any danger. I think we can try them out once just to see how we're doing today.
들었나 제군들.
Attention! We have orders from the executive manager. From this moment forth, we'll put our all into laying utter ruin unto these training dummies. Hey, I didn't even give an order. Oh well, won't hurt our blood. It won't hurt to get our blood pumping now. All forces charge!
이상이요. 행색이 이상하나.
Ugh.
그럼에도 이상이요. 내가 맞소. 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이요.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고. 목을 떨고 주마. 발톱을 걸어. 그쪽 방은 아닐 텐데. 누구 하나 살려보내지 마라. 목을 떨궈주마.
무상한 목숨. 불끈을 지원할 뿐.
일기당천. 도끼를 고작 이 정도 탕로에 허덕이 저 해충들을 도려내라.
이제 깨우치시게.
묘여. 길을 열어. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
이 거리는 충분해. 너한테는 조금 멀겠지만.
Man, I might actually have to use Fluid Sac here. Or maybe Pursuance.
다음은 어디로? 날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어. 뱀으로 끓여주마. 저
이
해충들을
거리는 충분해.
도려내라.
너한테는 조금 멀겠지만.
사요. 짐승.
이제 깨우치시게.
이 거리는 충분해. 너한테는 조금 멀겠지만.
Ah, almost got that one.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면
Ooh,
홍어는 그제야 알게 되겠지.
fingers crossed. Dagnabbit! Oh, that one again. The reason I want this one is because, well, let's see, because it's designed to be spammed. Sandy cost is a bit high for that, though. Of course, there's that effect. See. Also rewards you for spamming it. Pretty easy to build up the sin resources too. Especially with the team composition that I got.
필두 출제.
이상이요. 행색이 이상하나 그럼에도 이상이요. 내가 맞서. 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬다. 일기당천.
Yeah, these ones are a bit different.
물론고
They're studded.
제철.
Dang, that caffeine's not working.
날개를 펼치고 활동을 걸어. 도끼를 뽑다. 저 해충들을 도려내라. 묘여. 길을 열어. 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 뭐란 없으니 더는 못 따라나. 자, 저겠지.
I'm not afraid of its counterattack.
고작 이 정도 탕류의
How bad could it be?
혈압도 바로.
Seriously? All tails?
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데. 시비수에게 믿는다. 이 앞에 숨지 마. 목을 떨고 주마. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허물이다. 힘을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 배무릎게 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 저 해충들을
이 거리는 충분해. 너한텐 멀겠지만.
사요. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
상쾌.
How How refreshing. Oh, I guess morning workouts really do wake you up.
매번 큰일 있기 전에
Gotten so used to getting in tussles before we get to the real meat of the missions that
이렇게까지 몸을
I want to feel complete without some action. Nevertheless, this was a meaningful warm-up activity.
그런데 홍루 씨는
So, I've been meaning to ask Honglu, why did you never consider participating in the family hierarchy war before?
다른 형제자매분들은
Seems to me that all of your other siblings have been waiting and training all their lives for this event.
단순해요.
It's simple. Because I never once thought I wanted to be the family hierarch. Is it not truly most fortunate? Had you not been born with the jade, my son, you would have had to dwell all your life preparing for the hierarch family war like your other siblings do. You didn't need to waste your strength on those things. To win the favor of the elders in Jiamu, venerated be their blessings. Simply witness as much of the world as it has to offer, jade of our family, my precious son Bao Yu. More memories? What's wrong, he's saying? You seem kind of distraught.
어제 파우스트 양이 일컬어주었던
It's to do with the plan Miss Faust had explained to us last night.
나는 사실
I find the plan
탐탁지가
rather
않소.
detestable.
저도요.
Me too.
하지만
But Honglu said he's okay with it, so
그런데 그걸
can we even call it a plan if we're being honest here?
행동의 지침과 기대
Matches the definition of a plan, given that it
들어맞는다.
matches the definition of a plan, given that it illustrates certain instructions to be followed for the purpose of achieving a defined goal.
그리고
And please remember that there are no second chances in the family hierarchy war. Well, that sounds ominous.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍
Ugh, man.
무얼 바꾸었는지를.
I don't know what the deal is with me feeling so sleepy, but I think I'll probably call the stream here. I know it's a good bit earlier than I would have liked to have gone. Pick up here tomorrow. As always, folks, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. And peace be with you this day and always. Take care.